Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Department Podcast, our special wrestling recap version where we're also going to predict NXT Takeover Wargames 2020. I'm Stephen Clark with Justin Valentovic, Jesse Norman, and our very, very special guest, a good close friend of ours from college. He was on WP Sports Desk. You can follow him on his social medias at BirdieGuy13. Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Sudol, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. I just got done making Christmas cookies with the fam, and I'm
nice.
ready to talk some wrestling.
Ooh, what time?
Nice.
What type?
We
bread or like sugar?
Batches. We made Russian tea cakes. I don't know if you ever heard of those.
Nope.
No.
Those are great. They have walnuts in them. We made kolakis. I think you're probably familiar. They have different names. It's those Polish pastries where it's like a square.
Aren't you Polish, Justin?
That's what I'm saying. Like you should know this.
That's what they tell me.
Wow.
I'm just all of like Eastern Europe.
White. You're white.
Yeah.
So Ryan, that sounds like a lot of fun. Justin and Jesse, how you guys doing on this nice Saturday afternoon right now?
Good. Another week of work in the books. The weather cleared up a lot, but it's getting colder, so it's not the nor'easter we were supposed to get, so that's fun.
Yeah, I was like, what the
Yeah, it was supposed to get snow. They called it off. So
yeah, well, good thing you have that nice squirrel on your face now to keep your face warm during this
cold
weather.
Went from a depression beard to just laziness, and now it's just kind of here. So.
Yeah.
I don't know when I'll get rid of it. Maybe.
Don't get rid of it.
It'll be gone. I'll literally just do it on a whim one day and just spend like 30 minutes like hacking away at it, and eventually it'll just be gone. Won't know when.
Go back the mustache. Leave the mustache like I did for.
I look like I belong on a list.
I know. Jess sent me photos before. I know.
Yeah, we have though. Those do exist somewhere.
We have those, but anyways, looks like
she's actually been saying she's like you wouldn't look bad with just a mustache. I'm like, oh no.
I beg to differ.
Me too, because we know how I looked with a mustache, and it wasn't too pleasant.
Hey, you got like 2,000 likes on that.
It was great for the Halloween.
It worked.
Yeah, it was great for the Halloween.
It did work, but I'm glad everyone's doing pretty well today. So we're to continue this good vibes and talk about AEW for a little bit. We don't really talk about AEW too much on this show because we don't really watch it too much. We don't dislike it. We just don't have the time to watch it in our busy schedules. But two major things happened this week. First of all, being the icon Sting returning back to TNT for the first time in over almost 20 years or so. Golly. But he came to the ring, stared down Arn Anderson, stared down Dustin, Cody, and of course the one I'm most excited about, Darby Allin, because Darby's kind of like a mini Sting. But I'll go to Ryan first about this one since he's our guest. How are you feeling about Sting in AEW and back on TNT?
I'm loving it. I personally love it because it's the perfect. So like you said, people are saying that Darby Allin is going to be his client, and that would be absolutely phenomenal because they're both the same kind of dark, sadistic characters. But I want to bring up something a lot of people have talked about on social media. In the wrestling realm, Goldberg was trending on Twitter for like 2 days after the fact because they were saying, you guys are marking out over Sting. Why don't you mark out over Goldberg? Here's the difference. Sting is there to elevate.
Yes.
Goldberg buried two people.
Yeah, correct. I don't think Sting is gonna be Omega for the title in
No,
it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, but the moment itself was so cool, and the show was called Winter is Coming, and everybody was like, what the hell does that mean? And then the snow started to come on the thing. Snow comes from the rafters, and then Tony Schiavone has been waiting 20 years to say it's Sting, and like that just was just like, oh, and obviously I wasn't alive when WCW was a thing, but I've looked back on it, and like that just made me feel so happy.
Well, the thing is that like we're used to like the prime Sting we saw was like the TNA Sting,
right?
And he's doing a similar thing what he did for TNA. They started off for a year or two, and then he came in and he helped just build the promotion even more. And I think that's what he's probably going to try to do with AEW. And if that's the case, what he's doing, I'm all for it because, he's what, 50, 60 at this point. So he's not going to be,
not 60.
He's 60, he's 60, he's 62, I think.
Like he's signed to a full-time
61,
deal.
Wow, you're right.
But it's not like he's not going to be having clinics. Yeah, he'll have a match here and there. But if he's there to elevate the younger talent and build the brand and give it a legitimate name to, they have plenty of legit names at this point, but just another one and just, he knows how to build a smaller company like he did with TNA for a while from the ground up. He was there for, its entire prime until Hogan got there and then it went to hell. But if he can do a similar thing, this is a great move for him.
Yeah, no, Sting is a draw no matter what. And I think that's the thing people are missing here, as compared to Goldberg. I don't think Goldberg is that big of that draw anymore.
No,
that
just 'cause
Sting
he's-
still holds.
Because it's all the
Like-
characters itself. Like Sting actually does actual wrestling, moves and everything in the ring. Goldberg is just a meathead.
Well, and
Goldberg stayed too
has
long,
clearly
too.
Goldberg's clearly sold himself out with all the Saudi shows and all the other stuff. There was always this thing about Sting that everybody liked because he never sold out to WWE. Then went to WWE and they ruined his career. But
It's been
like
like
the
what?
one-
no,
What's so bad
Sting is
for
a
him?
great addition. And they buried him to Triple H too, so that was
Yeah,
great.
that's the
They
thing.
did.
too.
But this is where he definitely ends his career, Sting. Definitely. He'll probably have a couple. I don't think he's going to have many
absolutely.
matches, but he might have like 3 or 4 throughout 2021 or something. Maybe
But he'll
he
be
ends up with-
around.
He'll be around
because
He'll
he
be a
signed to a
presence.
3-year full-time deal.
Yeah.
you're
Well,
right.
this is what I'm thinking, and I think it'll be better than what I'm comparing it to. But when Impact got Hogan, and they were just putting Hogan in everything, I think that's what AEW is gonna start to kind of do with Sting, but in a different way. Like what Impact did with Hogan was bad. Like he was main eventing shows.
It was bad, very bad. Him
Terrible.
and Foley and all those guys, they're horrible.
Yeah. I think Sting is going to be like involved in a lot of things. Like he might take like a GM kind of role or something like that. Or he might just like show up and hit people with a bat here and there. That will be fine too.
And the thing is too, there's a plenty of old WCW heads in AEW that, they have easy storylines to just rekindle, and there's your creative in a pinch when you need it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and there's this easy ability to stick a WCW guy with a younger AEW guy and stick another WCW guy with an AEW guy, and then kind of had a feud through those WCW guys, like we've seen Arn Anderson do for Cody and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I like it. I think it's a great move. I think this was like the biggest name they could possibly get. That's not like a WWE guy. That would come over. I would be surprised if by the end of 2021 they also don't have Kurt Angle. I think they'll add Angle too.
Basically TNA all over again at this point.
No, that's what. But when those guys were in TNA,
it was
its prime. That was its best.
Yeah.
Granted, that's 10 years removed at this point, 10 to 15 years removed, give or take. But at least if they, they're not in matches, but they're at least like helping the young guys get over, that's just as good. They're there, their names, their draws. I might actually watch it now. That Sting is there. I haven't watched AEW since.
Yeah, I agree. They
like,
have my interest. They do.
Yeah, they have my interest too.
I haven't watched. I watched a lot the first 2 months, and then I kind of just got busy and I stopped. But I would still check in here and there. But
I'll know what's going on and like the storylines and all that stuff. But like I just don't watch it. Nothing against it. I just
don't tell you this right now.
Yeah, it's a lot of wrestling. Right?
If they sign Kurt Angle and you let him work on a fully part-time schedule where he can just prep to be in the ring, I guarantee you he can give you 2 to 3 really good matches a year.
Definitely.
WWE put him on a full-time schedule and asked him
down
to wrestle while also being the GM and not being able to work out the way he wanted to. I guarantee if Angle is given a part-time schedule, he can still go somewhat.
No, I 100% agree, but that's not. What's up, Brian? Go ahead.
One thing I wanted to just to touch on is I don't know if you guys remember when they brought in DDP for 3 matches.
Yeah,
late 2019.
Yeah.
He's the same age that Sting is. Actually, he's older than Sting, I think.
Yeah, because DDP
all that yoga.
And I think that's what they're probably going to do. They're going to put him
is 64.
Tag team. Jeez, they're probably going to put him in tag team matches, I think.
Well, that's the thing. You can hide him a little bit. He can come in, hit the stinger splash, hit the the death drop or whatever, hit him with a bat, and then go away.
Leave.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't think he'll repel down from the ceiling anymore.
That would be fantastic.
No one's repelling down from any ceiling ever since May 20th, 1999.
Yeah, no. But no, it's cool. Sting's back. We like that. We're all a big fan of that, which is cool to see.
Let's all be honest. This was a move we saw happening eventually. Once we heard that Sting's contract was up, what was it 6 months ago, a year ago?
I didn't. I was fully thrown off by this. I thought Sting was done. And then, because usually once they put guys into the Hall of Fame, like especially when they've been so like wary of it, I feel like there's usually this idea of like, all right, if we put you in the Hall of Fame, like you're one of ours now.
You're a lifer.
You're a lifer. You can't go back to that other stuff.
That other stuff, whatever that is that they don't.
That alternative lifestyle.
That T-shirt company.
The professional wrestling around the world, as they call it, because they don't call brands by their real names on television. But that's not the only big news from AEW this week. AEW is a stack show, and Kenny Omega won the AEW World Title from Jon Moxley with the help of TNA president. I want to say he's the president, Don Callis.
Yes. Yeah. I think he's kind of their interim GM, basically.
Sort of, yes, but he's
been there for a while.
Forever.
And the thing that was so smart about this was they kept putting Callis on Omega matches over the past couple months.
Yes.
Or like over the past like 4 or 5 months. So it felt like, oh yeah, Don Callis is here. He's here for Omega matches. That's kind of what happens. Like when Jim Ross would still do Taker matches, even when he wasn't there. Like it was like, oh, okay, Don Callis is here. He does Omega matches. And then he's working with them.
He's working with them.
That is just so well told. That's such a good story.
Yeah. Well, the reason they brought him in is because he is the color guy on the English New Japan shows with Kevin Kelly. So he's the guy that like has all the experience watching him, and plus he watched him coming up in Canada because he's Canadian. And he's and the fact that he's the co-executive vice president of TNA, I kind of had somewhat of an idea like, well, if he's the TNA co-executive VP, there's got to be something that's going to happen where they're going to bring TNA people in here.
And wasn't it TNA or Ring of Honor that they did like the talent exchange with New Japan?
Ring of Honor.
That was Ring of Honor, yeah. There was one show, Unbreakable 2005, the show with the Styles Joe Daniels triple threat on it. The opening match of that show was actually a talent exchange with Ring of Honor in 2005. It was Roddy against Austin Aries.
Oh wow,
which is interesting considering the TNA and ROH worked together at one point.
That is weird, but no.
But for TNA, Impact.
It's TNA. It's TNA.
Yeah, it's TNA.
Right. This is a great move for them. This is purely helping them. Like AEW, when they launched, it itself, they were automatically the number 2 brand, like company in the States, and TNA and Ring of Honor dropped significantly. So this is a great move for them.
Yeah, and
I think Impact's also been on the climb again since over the past year or so. They have a loyal fan base that really like what's going on there.
If Hogan never happened,
they would have a
prominent team.
I don't think we'd have AEW. I truly don't.
Wow.
Thanks, Hogan.
I think we'd all have, I think we'd have all TNA. Yeah. No, I think this is great. When was the last time we seen this kind of brand warfare thing?
Really, never.
Never. Like the invasion storyline, but we all know how that was.
I assume long term, this is going to set up like a cross company pay-per-view.
Well, apparently, according to Fightful Select, the often reliable Fightful Select, Mr. Sean Ross Sapp, he said that multiple sources within the situation are saying that this is not going to be a full-on crossover, and that this is just going to be like a couple-week thing, kind of like
until money starts rolling in.
Until money, maybe. I think once the money starts rolling in,
I think this is going to be akin to what, I don't know if you guys ever watched this, but what WWF did with ECW in '97.
Yes.
Yeah.
They had a thing where they brought him in for the show, and then RVD and Sabu and Too Cold Scorpio were on shows for weeks.
And then that's when King was over on ECW and obliterated Tommy Dreamer's nuts.
But now
toilet paper, there's nothing in it, but I don't know, what are my language?
So this would be perfect though this would be perfect for either company if there were more fans, if they were able to sell legitimate arenas, because this would help TNA substantially then in the money department on draw power.
It's already helping. a lot.
No, I know it is.
Omega's already announced for Impact this Tuesday. They already announced that.
They announced that as he was running away.
They're going to have their biggest draw in probably 8-10
and the best part, it's free to watch if you make a Twitch account. So all you have to do is go on Twitch and watch it.
Oh, it is? Oh, thank God, because I don't have access.
Neither do
Nobody
I.
has access.
Nobody has access.
Do I have access, like on Comcast?
It doesn't matter, Justin. You can just make a Twitch account, which I know you have because you used to watch those Good Morning Maddens. Sorry, Kralo, but
sorry, Kralo.
I do get access.
What do you have?
Comcast.
I probably also get.
I'm on that Optimum Life.
But
I don't think I'm subscribed to it then. Maybe with the package. I don't know what package.
But actually, the Impact Twitch is really cool because like they'll just start streaming random like old matches on their Twitch account too at like 3 a.m. too. Like I'll wake up from a notification from them and be like, "Why was Impact streaming at like 3 or 4 in the morning?" But now this is great for both companies, especially TNA. Both rosters have a lot to offer. A lot of dream matches can happen between the women's division is now stacked if you combine them both. The upper card is great. Tag teams. Dream matches are insane. Like I was bringing up, Gallows and Anderson can face FTR. You can have throw into North in there, throw the Bucks in.
CD Machine Guns against the Revival. I call them Revival still, but still.
Yeah, exactly. Like literally, there's so much stuff to do. Yeah, but
I'm all for it. This is great.
One weird thing. Why was it Winter is Coming? That's been old for about 2 years already now. That was a Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
like 2-3 years ago. No, not even. That was way before that. That was like 2016.
Because Seth did it at Mania. Remember the whole entrance?
Too? I think that's when the show was ending. Is when he did it as a reference to that. Like the whole.
That was what 34. That
Winter is Coming was season 1, episode 1 of Game of Thrones, which was 2011.
2011. Wow.
Yeah, but like they keep saying winter is coming throughout the show, but I think they're done by like
the winter was
season 6 or season 7.
The winter was Sting.
Yes, I understand that, but also like
the winter was Sting.
Oh my God. But that does it for AEW this week. An insane week for them. Good for them. I'm glad to see a lot of eyes being now looking at them, and hopefully this goes well for both companies in the future. But now on to what we usually talk about, which is WWE. And since this is a pay-per-view prediction episode, we will only each be talking about one moment that stood out to us during this week. It could be good, it could be bad, it could be something to crap on, it could be something to praise. I think I'm just gonna go with the guest again to start this week. I'll go with Ryan to start off because I think I went first last week, or the last prediction one. So Ryan, give me a moment that stood out to you this week.
Roman Reigns absolutely crapping on Caleb Braxton.
No, yeah, the open show.
Whole thing.
Odell's here.
Like if there was a way.
Okay, Justin.
If there was a way for somebody to completely ruin the journalistic integrity of a person that quick, it is what Roman did to Caleb Braxton. I never want to see Caleb Braxton on my TV again. Screw her, because she sucks. You know what I mean? Like that's how good Roman is as a heel. He makes you believe him that the people that are interviewing him and the people that are involved with him that aren't at his level all suck.
Yeah,
and,
it was great.
That's so effective. And then I'll go on and say, Roman in general, everything that Roman is doing right now is absolutely unbelievably good. Where he beats the crap out of Owens at the end of the show with a chair, and also beats on Jey Uso, and he yelled at. What did he yell at him?
I don't know, but he did tell him earlier in the show there will be consequences because he wanted to fight Owens earlier in the show and all that, and almost put Reigns and Owens in a title match for later in the show. He almost got that going, and Reigns told him backstage there'll be consequences, but I love you. And that's it. But now week after week, all three of us have praised Roman Reigns and the work that he does.
Repeating myself. I have to keep repeating myself.
Yeah, no, I guess that's what he said, but I don't remember that. But
I just looked it up.
But no, he beat the crap out of Jay and beat the crap out of Owens, and he's phenomenal. We all love him here. And there's a little history with the Paul Heyman thing and Roman and Kayla, because Paul Heyman and Kayla are on Talking Smack, and Paul basically does that to Kayla every week on Talking Smack, and to see Roman do it too, it's kind of funny. But now, Justin, Jesse, anything with this? Anything else?
I mean,
I like Roman.
Pretty much hit on it. Roman's the best thing in the
Roman's
company.
good.
Yeah,
what about Pat McAfee's amazing promo?
We'll get there. We'll get there because each one of us will pick something either good or bad, and I will go to Jesse now to see what he will pick.
Oh, I thought we were going to. Sorry.
Give me the Alexa Bliss Randy Orton.
I thought you were gonna take the Pat from Justin. Dang it.
No, I wasn't gonna do that because then Justin would be scrambling for 5 minutes looking through WWE.
That's not what I. No, I have my thing. It's not It's not Pat. So Steve can take that one.
Then Clark, you can take Pat.
I'll take Pat.
Mine is so simple and mundane.
Okay. You want to talk about?
Yeah, I think surprise, everything Bray Wyatt does is really good. Let him do more stuff. The him and Randy storyline is really good. Obviously they have a lot to fall back on too, with the whole Viper and the family storyline. Alexa's really good. She brings this to another level. I love everything that they're doing. I like the whole Randy being like, oh, you think Bray's crazy? I'm crazy. And it's like, no, Randy. You're not on Fiend's level of crazy.
No. I like seeing Orton not being afraid of the Fiend. Like, it's new. Over the last year and a half or so that the Fiend has been around, everyone's been either terrified of him or running away or just easily like loses to him. Like, Randy did to be different because they have a match at TLC they announced yesterday on .com or something, but they have a match at TLC and Randy has stood face to face and knows the weakness of the Fiend now too, and that is Alexa Bliss. So the Fiend does have a weakness that we all know now, and it's his love and compassion for Alexa Bliss, and Orton's taking advantage of that, and he's showing he's not afraid of the Fiend, which is just really different, really cool. I'm glad there's not a title involved in the storyline because it doesn't need it. It's
the
fun.
Fiend doesn't need titles. Never.
Yeah, no, it's also great that Randy's out of the title picture.
Yeah, finally, right?
I love Randy.
Give him the title?
I do.
What's the point?
He's been fantastic.
We've been trying to figure out.
They're gonna get Randy to 17. Randy's gonna be the one to get to 17 because Cena's bailed. Cena's out. So we even seen when he turned on Ric Flair. Ric Flair said before, like, I just want to be part of your career. I want to be here when you break my record, when you win all those championships. It's gonna be Randy. Randy's gonna be the
more
one to break
he still
17.
needs.
He only needs like 3 more.
That's a lot, though.
He's at 14, I think.
Yeah, it is.
I feel like that's a lot.
But he said he wants to go for 10 more years. He gets 1 more every 3 years.
Hey,
but he's also in the best shape that he's ever been in.
That is true.
It's so crazy about Randy Orton how good of a heel he is. Yeah. He made the Fiend look like I watched the clip of the Fiend holding Alexa Bliss in his arms with her looking terrified.
Yeah.
It honestly made me almost go, aw. You know, like, and I'm just like, I love storylines like this. I know a lot of people, like, when Kane became human, people were like, oh, I didn't like it when Kane became human. I honestly like, not necessarily when he becomes fully human, but when a storyline reveals the human elements of a monster. And this is what this story.
Yeah, you have to adapt characters.
Exactly.
Like you can't just leave characters as what they were when they first came, like, immediately.
Yeah, no, I thought it was fantastic though. Great work. Both of those two things you guys just said with the Roman stuff and the Fiend stuff, fantastic stuff we talk about week to week basis. Very, very good stuff. Justin, go ahead.
All right. So
I'll go last.
We haven't really talked about it that much, and some sad shit happened this week in WWE, and that's with the passing of Pat Patterson. Right. So I just want to talk about that. They did the 6-man, all former Intercontinental Champion, tribute match to him, and just everything they did was nice.
Yeah. No, the video package was probably the greatest video package I've ever seen for someone who has passed away, with the Frank Sinatra My Way playing, like, and you see the Pat doing the karaoke during it, showing all the old photos and stuff. It was very, very well done. I'm glad they're giving him the respect he deserves too, because I
don't want to take anything away from him. He was Vince's boy. Exactly.
Yeah.
He was one of Vince's absolute best friends. And it's clear that.
Yeah. And he deserves it too. He just deserves it because he was like the 70s more generation and sort of bled into the 80s and 90s. Of course, he was one of the Stooges and all that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But like he was very prior to a lot of the mainstream wrestling, like the Hogans, Macho Man's, Warriors, and all that. And to see him actually get like the praise for what he did in the business and everything he's done behind the scenes and inside the ring, both of them, and what he's done for the future generation of talents. Like a lot of the current guys loved him because he always stuck around backstage and he did his job backstage, and he's helped a lot of guys like Dolph Ziggler we saw, and Roman, like a couple of guys to name right there that Pat Patterson absolutely tried to help to get him to the next level. So it was really very nice video package, and of course the match was cool too because it represented.
They're all good names too in the match too, which was nice.
And Big E's entrance is cool.
Yeah, he got the
new entrance.
Got the chalk.
Yeah. Back. But one thing I wanted to say about Pat Patterson is like a lot of people are saying, and like I know that they kind of ruined the whole, I want to say aura of it when they just said it on Legends House as if it was new news.
Oh, they just kind of created the Intercontinental Belt.
They created the thing that he was gay, and like no one knew about it on the show, but really every single person in that room knew he was gay. But still, back in the 70s, he came out as gay in a wrestling industry that was made on macho men, and in the 70s when it wasn't really something that you talked about. So, it's it was really really cool to see someone that is LGBT come all the way from the 70s openly all the way to now in the business in the way that he did.
Well, and if you look across, other professional sports leagues and everything, I'm not sure about the MLB, but the NBA didn't have its first openly gay player until Jason Collins with the Nets, and that was like 4 or 5 years ago.
And the NFL was Michael Sam.
Michael Sam,
who by the way was supposed to be a 4th round pick and fell all the way to the 7th round.
And yet baseball hasn't had anyone.
I don't think
officially came out.
Baseball has, but they were like after
they've come out after their careers.
Yeah, the NFL people have said there's people in the NFL that are also like that. But Pat Patterson did it in the 70s. So
and had a great career in legacy.
He invented the freaking Royal Rumble. Like people don't realize that he invented
the Rumble. Literally, a lot of our favorite pay-per-views of the year is the Rumble, and he's the one that invented that. So that's awesome. That was a good one, Justin. I should have brought that up earlier. But
whenever they do like the Intercontinental like ladder match like at WrestleMania, they should just name it like the Pat Patterson.
They should name it the Pat Patterson.
They might do that now. Honestly, they honestly might, or like the Pat Patterson Memorial Royal Rumble. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
They should do something there.
They should name it that.
They might. They honestly might.
They definitely will, just because of how good of a friend he was with Vince.
I think it's very possible the Rumble's name get changed to that. That's Pat Patterson Memorial Rumble. But
at least for the men's one.
Don't name it Moolah.
Yeah, don't do the women's one. I'll do my pick of the week for moment of the week or whatever really quickly. Then we're to take a little quick break. Then after that break, we will break down and predict NXT Takeover Wargames 2020. But I was gonna pick McAfee, but I'm like, we're gonna talk about him
anyway
in the next thing. So it doesn't really pay to talk about McAfee. Instead, I'll go to let's see. I'm gonna go to Raw. And I'm going to talk about what we predicted last week, which was the triple threat match, who will be the number one contender to Drew McIntyre's WWE title. And I think Justin, maybe both of you guys predicted it. What? No, I'm saying you predicted it right.
Oh, okay, cool.
And AJ Styles won. I picked Keith Lee, I know. AJ Styles won, defeated Keith Lee. And
Keith Lee didn't eat the pin, so.
That's the good part. Once again, Keith Lee looks strong, I guess, and Riddle lost. None of us expected Riddle to win this, but AJ Styles versus Drew McIntyre is happening at TLC, and I'm very actually excited for this match. It's good to see AJ with his big taco fall guy with him. Almost. That's his name. Almost. Where do you get these names from? Like
Vince's, that's his name. I think that's like
is that legit his name?
I know. I think that's an abbreviation of his actual name.
Hold up.
We have to do some research.
Looking it up, yeah.
Okay. I cannot pronounce that name.
Okay.
Jordan Amogabin.
So
almost.
Maybe
cool.
A nickname. Maybe a nickname.
Yeah.
Why can't I just call him Omo?
Also known as from the Akira Tozawa.
Or Omag.
No, No, Omog sounds like a Shrek.
Actually 7'3".
Yeah, he's huge.
335.
He's huge. Literally, like, look up the pictures of him and AJ Styles next to each other.
I know he's big. They've also lied before and said like people.
He's
are
at least 7
tall when they were.
At least
he's 7. Says he's 7'3".
But no, I love AJ Styles. I know Justin's favorite is AJ Styles.
He's my
too.
boy.
Yeah, that's your boy. And we're getting AJ back in the main event picture after kind of like a little dry spell of Ryan giving us a tour of his room.
I'm just plugging in my charger.
Oh, okay.
This is my video game rack. That's a participation trophy for a block party I had when I was 12.
Nice.
The bird's nest.
The bird's nest. But no, AJ Styles back in the main event picture. Finally. It's fun to see AJ and Kevin Owens back in the main event picture because those are two of my favorites, and they're both gonna lose at TLC, but that's
and they're
fine.
both gonna get eaten up.
Yep, but hey, I love it. I guess
It's gonna be a great match, though.
It will be good. It will be good.
Have they announced a stipulation for it?
Not yet, but Roman and Owens
is the
TLC
obligatory.
match.
Yeah, so that means we won't have anything else.
No, it'll probably be a ladder match.
Stairs match.
Stairs match.
TLCS, baby.
But also announced for TLC.
They announced like 5 matches just on Twitter.
Yeah,
like,
I wanted to bring this one up because we love crapping on this one every week. Shayna and Nia versus Lana and Asuka for the Raw.
That Nia match on Raw was one of the
Asuka.
funniest things I've ever seen.
Oh, when she just went running into the ropes. Yes, that was good. But no, Lana is gonna be a women's tag team title.
Thank God. Please get this odd couple experiment of Shayna and Nia off my screen and banish them to the shadow realm. I'm done. I don't care.
Yes,
I'm on the Lana train, baby. I'm all in for this.
Table
love
time.
it.
Next year,
It's
I
gonna be
want to
tables
create
match,
a
yeah.
spreadsheet of all the women in WWE, and I'm gonna count how many wins blonde women get.
A lot.
Because Vince loves
Blonde hair,
blondes.
apple pie.
That is his qualification. I would not be surprised if Becky comes back and he's like,
Blonde.
"You thought about dyeing your hair blonde?"
Well, she is kind
She
of
has like her natural hair color, which is like a
blondish,
dirty.
brunette-ish.
Yeah.
Dirty, kind of dirty, yeah.
Oh God, she's gonna break Ric Flair's record now. If she comes back blonde.
God, yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if Carmella beats Sasha at TLC too, because Carmella's blonde too. But
Sasha's got blue hair.
yeah. Vince doesn't like blue. We know that. He likes blonde.
I don't think Vince aligns with the philosophy of blue-haired people.
No.
So
no. That was good.
Yeah, his donor list and Linda's failed Senate campaign say otherwise.
Stand up for WWE.
Oh boy, God. All right, but that does it for this little part of the Department Podcast. We'll be right back to break down NXT Takeover Wargames 2020. So stay tuned. All right, we're back, and we're just going to predict TakeOver War Games 2020, and then we're going to head out of here, because we also have to watch that and predict it and react to it and all that stuff, so that's coming down the line, so stay tuned to that. But we're going to start off with Justin. It's only fitting that either Justin or I start off this match, so I'll give it to Justin. It's the men's War Games match. It's the Undisputed Era versus Team McAfee, which consists of Pat McAfee himself, Peter Dune, Oni Lorcan, and Danny Burch. Justin, let us know your takes and what's going to happen in this match. Of course, who's winning?
Give me Pat and pals all day.
Yeah!
Pat is going to punt somebody like off the cage or through a table or something. This better close the show. Like, this has to be the main
it's
event.
Definitely closing. It's definitely closing.
Also,
the
War Games is kind of Era's match. So definitely one of them's doing some form of, a holy shit OMG moment type of thing, because that's what they do best.
Yeah.
But, Lorcan and Birch, they'll just be not elimination, but they'll be the first men in. I feel like Pete is going to look really good, but I think Pat's team ultimately wins.
Yeah, I agree. Exactly. Pat to the win. This is a little biased, but I think Pat to the win too. But this is the first. If you listen to the War Games rules every single year, one of the rules is that if you leave the cage, you forfeit the match for your team. I think this is finally the first War Games match where that will happen.
Pat's going to punt somebody off the
Pat's
cage.
going to punt somebody off the cage.
show.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is like it's been 3 or 4 years now where they've said that rule, and it has not happened once in either the men's or the women's where someone has left the cage, fell off the cage, and automatically that team.
Okay, even if they don't punt him off the cage, maybe they'll punt him like through the door.
Maybe Pat will just dip during the match and just lose it for his team. Like, I had enough of this and just dip. But I'm also going with Pat.
AJ Hawk comes in, turns on Pat, start the storyline on the podcast.
Oh boy, Darius Butler.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like I'm going Pat and Pen Pals.
Woo!
Do they have a name?
Doesn't really win these matches.
I call them the lads. They're the lads.
Yeah.
Pat Pack. The Pat Pack. The Pat McAfee.
There you go.
Yeah, I think Dunn comes out looking the best out of this. I think McAfee gets his win and kind of goes away after this. I don't think he was supposed to be here anyway. I think they kind of brought him back. So, yeah.
Yeah. Pat.
Era can lose. Era loses a lot of matches, but they're still like a prime thing for NXT. So.
Era loses a lot of their War Games matches.
Have they won any of them?
They've won 1 out of 3. I think.
When they beat Sanity, right?
They won the first one.
Yes,
and
then
they
it.
Lost the past.
They lost to
The
Ricochet, Dunn, and the Vikings, and then they lost to Dijak, Keith Lee, Owens,
that crew.
Yeah,
and we got Dunn and Ricochet staring each other down, and then we never got
nothing
that.
happened.
I feel like the War Games matches are getting every year they kind of get a little bit worse.
Like the matchups of it.
No, and I think every year they try to jump the shark more and more and more.
Come on, what's jumping the shark more than bringing in an ex-NFL punter who does a podcast?
That's what I'm saying. But the thing is
but he was a goddamn good wrestler in that match.
I think that Era's gonna win. For the reason that you just said. They haven't won a War Games match since the second one, or since the first one. I'm sorry, and also, I think that I just think that they want to give the conquering here because for the first time ever in a War Games match, the Era are baby faces. That does make sense. So the thing with they haven't won since the first one, and they're baby faces now. I think storyline wise, that puts it together where they should win. And also, if they're on their way out and they go into the main roster,
we can never.
I don't want.
We've been saying since last year that they're going up, and then like the shakeup, we were like, that's it. There is absolutely no possible way Era is not called up.
That's honest. Okay, by the way, the name of their team, the Kings of NXT.
I'm with it.
Nice.
That
reminds me of
Pat's
when
honestly sticking around a while.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so.
Back to
it's like when Braun.
But
you remember when Braun, Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler, they were the War Dogs or something.
Remember the United Nations?
Yeah, exactly.
The League of Nations.
Speaking of stables, really quickly, did you guys see on SmackDown Corbin has a little stable now with Steve Cutler
of the Trump brothers.
Yeah, the Trump guys, Steve Cutler and Wesley
It's sad too because they don't actually support Trump at all. It was just Jackson Riker. It was just Riker.
Yeah, but that's cool.
And they shaved.
Also, 3 of us picked Pat. Ryan picked AUE, and I'm gonna predict the next match.
I just have one question for everybody.
Yes.
What is Pat going to do? Because obviously Pat's going
to do a moonsault off the top of the cage.
Yeah, he's doing something.
Definitely a moonsault.
He's gonna do a moonsault when everybody's in, so like they can catch him. But he's gonna do like a moonsault off.
Give me like do you know how Ricochet did the backflip into Adam Cole?
Yeah.
Give me one of the UE guys doing a flip or something into a punt or something.
So who's getting pinned then? Who's taking the pin then?
Only Lorcan or Birch, one of those 2 clowns. No.
Yeah, because here's the thing: if Cole pins Pat, then I think it's done. That's it. I think it's over then.
Pat pins Cole.
Yeah, but I just want to say
or Cole pins Pat, right? Then Pat's done because then he has 2 up on him at that point.
There is something that needs to happen with Pat McAfee. I hope he doesn't go away. I honestly don't. I think if you keep him as a wrestler, I think it honestly is going to get stale because the novelty of it's going to end.
Manager.
But I think that he is maybe the new. We haven't had a manager like this, a charismatic manager like this in a managerial role that's not a wrestler since Abraham Washington. I'm pretty sure. And like, I loved Abraham Washington. Then he said what he said about then he said what he said about Kobe. But like.
Well, he also said to support Linda McMahon's Senate campaign.
That too. But he is a charismatic guy who's dynamite on the microphone. Yeah. And he's a perfect thing that needs to happen. He needs to get clients. He needs to get more. He needs to make a big stable like the Heenan family.
I think Pat's going away. I think Pat's going away because I don't think WWE is going to continue to pay how much he's going to want.
They'll bring him in on a case-by-case basis when they need him,
probably.
Because they're not going to give him a contract and give him money for doing nothing.
Exactly.
No, yeah, absolutely not.
No, I agree with that too. But let's move on to the next match that I will predict. And honestly, it's the match I'm looking forward to most on this whole card. It's the Women's War Games match. Team Shotzi, which consists of Shotzi Blackheart, Ember Moon, Rhea Ripley, and added this Wednesday on NXT Women's Champion Io Shirai versus.
Didn't I say she would be in this match? I think I did.
Yeah, you did.
Suck it, Jesse.
Whoa! That's inappropriate.
That was uncalled for.
Yeah, that's inappropriate. Shame on you. We get it. You're older than all of us now. You're
think you're better than me?
No one likes you when you're 23,
Justin.
Yeah.
No one likes you when you're 23. Remember that.
No one liked me when I was 21, 22, 18, 19, 17.
11.
Yeah, born. Technically
but
removed if you go by anatomically of a C-section.
Okay.
Okay.
Team Candice consists of Candice LeRae, the new heel Toni Storm, Dakota Kai, and big old Raquel Gonzalez. And I think the baby faces just get the win in this one because Candice destroyed the tank of Shotzi. It doesn't make much sense for really Candice's team to win. It doesn't make sense for anyone to win this match. Whoever wins, wins. Whoever loses, loses. It doesn't really matter. No one comes out of this looking weak. It gets Raquel and Toni Storm like in the mix who haven't really been around for a little while. So that's cool. Ember Moon back in a marquee matchup. That's cool. Shotzi Blackheart, of all people, we know how great she was in Halloween Havoc. We praised her for the work she did hosting that. And I'm glad she had the chance to shine. So I'm taking Team Shotzi just because of baby faces.
Yeah, me too. Just because they're gonna get the comeuppance on Team Candice, basically.
Yes.
Yeah, I go with them too.
Also, the Team Shotzi is so much better. Like just the names on it. Like it's just a full step above.
I love Raquel a lot. I think she's fantastic. And
I think I honestly when she first came in the street fight, I was like, oh, this looks like a girl. And like I kind of like gauge wrestlers well normally. Like this looks like someone that can't move. This looks like someone that's just punch, kick, punch, Kevin Nash type wrestler. Mm-hmm. But then she had the match with Rhea on Halloween Havoc. Yeah. And then that proved everything wrong to me that I thought about Raquel Gonzalez because she killed it. She killed it. Yeah. And but still, even though I love Toni, I love Raquel, love Candice.
Cheeks.
Candice,
Candice didn't want to say why, but yeah, no, she's a great wrestler too. But come on, I mean, Ember returning. You can't give Ember a loss in first pay-per-view match after she comes back.
Yeah,
I mean, you could.
You shouldn't.
You shouldn't. Yeah. But no, I think they should. I think Shotzi's gonna win. I think then you move on to, I think Rhea and I would honestly do like a triple threat of them after this of like Rhea, Shotzi, and Ember Moon all trying to be the number one contender.
Oh, wait, I thought Rhea's out.
Is she?
Who knows?
So.
Who knows? Who cares?
They'll change it. We're going on the assumption that Rhea's on her way out.
I can see her getting.
Well, see, I don't think Rhea would win anyway. Would be my thing. I think it would be either Ember Moon or Shotzi Blackheart. Your choice. I would probably run Shotzi first and then do Ember later, and I would have Ember beat.
I think it's going to be loses number one contendership, debuts in Rumble, then stays.
That'd be fine to me. But we've also been saying about Rhea moving up pretty much this whole year as well.
Yeah.
So I don't like to speculate on it anymore.
I would like to see an Ember Io storyline and kind of reflect off the Ember and Asuka storyline where Ember can never get the job done against Asuka, and then maybe she can't get the job done against Io, and then just brings out like a new heelish Ember like that finally beats EO or something. So I think that'd be kind of cool. But let's carry on with the card. We still have 3 more matches to predict. It only goes down from here. Ryan, we're going to you for this one. It's the NXT North American champion. Can't believe he's still champion. Leon Ruff versus Damien Priest versus Johnny Gargano in a triple threat match for the title. Ryan, who are you taking and what's going to happen?
First of all, why did they give him the title?
He's talented.
I know he's talented, but like it's just like the whole thing. That's supposed to be a joke. You're supposed to get the title off of him the week after, not have him carry it all the way to the pay-per-view. Leon Ruff sounds like, you ever played Wrestling Revolution? The game,
yes, the game on the phone.
You know how they have like Bork Laser or whatever? Yes. Leon Ruff sounds like Leo Rush's Wrestling Revolution.
Honestly, it might be a shot at Leo. And it's kind of funny because Leo never won any titles and Leon Ruff already won a title. That's hilarious.
So, and then here he is winning the title. As for the match, I think that Damien Priest regains the North American title because if you just give it back to Johnny, it's just going to be like...
yeah.
And if you give it back to Priest, it's going to be like he gets comeuppance on Johnny. And then also, you know, I just want to see him beat the crap out of Leon Ruff because I feel like that he's going to do some spot where he just throws him somewhere because he's so tiny.
He's definitely going for a ride somewhere.
Oh yeah.
He's going for a ride, but I've been on, like, even with yesterday with our NFL predictions episode, I've been on some dumb predictions. I picked the Jets to win, and I'm picking Leon Ruff to retain his title in this match. He's not going to do much.
He has a better chance to win than Johnny does.
Okay, they all have a 30% chance.
If that's the case, he's gonna have to pin Johnny somehow.
They're gonna do a double move to each other or whatever, a double finisher, and all of a sudden you see this little scrawny guy who weighs about the size of my thigh just crawl into the ring and just put his arm over, and he retains the title. I don't know where it's gonna go from here on out. That's not my job to decide because I don't book the stories, but I think I'm taking Leon Ruff. You guys are all taking Priest?
I'm gonna take Priest.
Give me Priest.
Yeah, I'm stupid.
I think that's a safe bet.
It's very safe, and it's probably right. But I'm on my dumb predictions the last few days. And if you didn't watch that NFL predictions episode, go pause this and watch that before the game starts. So go watch that. But we only have 2 more matches. Norms, I'm going to you for this one. It's a very good storyline that's been going on between these two, and I'm very entertained by it, and I love it. Dexter Lumis versus Cameron Grimes in a strat match. Who is winning, and what's going to happen, Norms?
Oh, it's Lumis. And Grimes is going to keep trying to get away. He's not going to be able to get away. Grimes is great. They're both very entertaining. I really like both of them. I like Grimes a little bit more. But I think, I don't think there's a way that Grimes wins unless like there's some interference maybe, but I don't think so.
I don't know.
I honestly, and I want to say something about Cameron Grimes. I think that like I like his character a lot. I know the whole steampunk type, character that he's going with, but, and the eccentric weird dude. Let's go to the moon. I honestly like him better as Trevor Lee.
Respect.
The guy that, because like what he's doing, the thing that they're doing in NXT, I mean, it's WWE. What do you expect? But they're going more character driven with him. I loved Trevor Lee as this like scrappy young wrestler dude who would just beat the crap out of people and do crazy moves in the ring. He's doing that, but that's not his character. He was a gritty yet high flying guy when he was with Andrew Everett in TNA. And now he's a character more so than a wrestler. I wish it was.
Don't forget tag team champions with Brian Myers. Don't forget that one.
He was tag team champion with Brian Myers.
It was. But no. I'm
gonna go with Dexter Lumis as well.
I'm gonna go with Lumis too. Justin.
Yeah, Lumis.
Lumis around the clock. I think that's our. No, it's not our first one predicting all the same. But Lumis. They're both very entertaining. Like I said, Grimes is cool. Lumis is awesome. Very, very cool stuff.
Like a pedophile when you first saw him, Justin.
He looked like the picture there's an Orioles pitcher that looked like him too. I forgot who it was.
Yeah, you sent me the picture.
You sent the picture.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, this should be fun. It's a nice little comedic break during the show. That will be needed with 2 War Games matches, which I'm guessing is going to take place in the Thunder.
I assume it would have to be. There's no.
Yeah, they can't fit it otherwise.
Right. But no, that's fantastic. And last match, I'll just go back to Justin because we started with him. Tommaso Ciampa, Timothy Thatcher. Have fun with this one.
Ciampa.
Cool. Me too.
Thatcher.
Ooh.
I think I don't know what they're doing with Ciampa. He's already kind of done everything. I think Thatcher, they're building up more to go into that North American Championship kind of picture after this Johnny Priest thing is done. So I think if you want him to go in there, you kind of have to give him this win.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Thatcher as well.
Wow,
if Ciampa wins, I'm just gonna be like, enough. Just enough is enough.
It does, like if Ciampa wins, like it doesn't really matter. Like what does he do?
This match doesn't matter to me.
No, this will be the opener, or this will be the match that's in between the War Games matches.
I think you start with a War Games. Honestly, you do beginning and end, and then all the other crap in between. But no,
I would probably go the North American title, then Loomis, female. War Games, Ciampa, men's.
Oh, I think I'd open with one match, do a War Games, do the other two, and then another War Games. I wouldn't wait to push it to third though. I think I'd do it second.
You know what? I would like to retract a prediction of mine.
Go for it.
Go ahead.
Give me Leon Ruff to retain the North.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the club.
I now that I think about it,
yeah,
if
right.
Priest wins it back, I'm just gonna be like, you know what? Honestly, I want Priest to win because I don't like the Leon Ruff storyline, but it wouldn't really make storyline sense for Priest
James
to
Ellsworth
win the title back
belt
to continue the. Yeah, give me Leon Ruff.
James Ellsworth's got a 10. That's all I know. Anyways,
hopefully he doesn't get wrapped up in the same stuff that he got.
Hopefully he keeps his chin.
Yeah, I forgot. James Ellsworth is ugly too. All right, well that does it. Ryan, thank you so much for being on this episode.
I'm gonna go enjoy
really
them
appreciate it. Huh?
The cookies.
Oh yeah, yeah, cookies. Yeah, go eat some cookies. Make sure you send us some cookies too.
I'll ship you some.
Thank you, appreciate that. No, but thank you, Ryan, so much for being on the show. You guys can follow Ryan on his social media at BirdieGuy13.
BIRDIE, because I like to play golf.
He likes to play golf. He doesn't like birds, which I thought was originally why that was his username. But thank you again, Ryan. Did you have fun? At least talking wrestling for a little bit. Did you have fun?
I did have fun. A lot of fun. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad you did. We'll definitely try to get you on in the very near future. Very soon. That'd be fun because you were a great addition to the show. But thank all of you guys for listening to this episode of the Department Podcast. All three of us, plus the guys who are usually do other episodes. Really appreciate you guys listening. Make sure you guys subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Leave a comment there. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Let us know your predictions if you guys are watching TakeOver. We like to compare predictions. We like when you guys interact with us, either in the comments or in the DM. So please give us your predictions there. Follow us on our social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Department_pod. We have a TakeOver reactions episode coming. We have NFL Week 13 reactions coming. Maybe I know I say this every episode, maybe baseball or basketball or something.
Okay, basketball's actually happening soon.
Oh yeah,
we actually have stuff to talk about for that. Baseball, there's winter meetings, so God, I hope there's something because there still has been nothing.
No, basketball season prediction review or whatever season opener.
Preview and the lack of off-season movement.
Harden blue balled the crap out of us.
He did.
Especially Jesse.
Right.
Hey man, still the best team in the East, with or without James Harden.
Okay. Anyways,
it's okay. The Wizards have the best former OKC MVP. Just saying.
It's a joke.
That is the stupidest thing I've heard in my entire life. On that note, that does it for this episode. Stay tuned to all that fun stuff, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.